In this video, I'm going to show you how to knit an I-cord. It's super easy, clever, and it makes a really nice knitted cord. So let's get started. To knit an I-cord, you're going to need some yarn. We're going to just use some simple worsted weight acrylic yarn. This is some Red Heart Super Saver in the turquoise, in case you're wondering. But just any kind of yarn that it corresponds to the size of your knitting needle. You can look at your yarn label and see the recommended needle size. In my case, it's a US 8. And I have a US 8 here. Okay, so just some worsted weight yarn we'll use today. And you're also going to need some needles. Now, if you notice, these have points at either end. These are called double pointed needles, also called DPNs, you might see. So they have a point at either end. Usually with knitting needles, you have a point and then you have some kind of cap at one end. This is so that you can use both ends, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then it would be handy to have some scissors and a yarn needle. We can kind of put those off to the side for now, but this will, you can weave the end in later and snip it later, but we'll put those aside for now. So what we want to do to begin, and I'm going to come way in so you can see much better. And what we'll do is we're going to take one of our needles, we'll put this one aside for now, and we're going to cast on 3 stitches. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your strand of yarn, we're going to do the long tail cast on. Now we're only casting on 3 stitches, so all we want to do is pull out a couple inches. This is about 8 to 12 inches, I would say. So wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop, bring the yarn behind that loop, then we're going to reach in with our needle, pick up that strand in the middle, and tighten. So that is our first stitch, okay? But we need 3, so we're going to cast 2 more on. So we have our yarn that goes to the yarn ball. That's called the working yarn. And then we have our tail. So what we want to do is take our index finger and our thumb, and we're going to come in from the bottom here underneath our needle in these 2 strands, and we're going to hook it at the bottom and then just kind of open it. See how it makes a diamond shape? Then we're going to take our needle and we're going to go around our thumb, around our index finger, and then through the thumb loop and tighten. So that's 2 stitches. Now do the same thing. Notice I didn't let go. I still have my diamond shape. But what you want to do is take your needle, come around the thumb, around your finger, index finger, and through the thumb loop. Now we have 3 stitches, okay? Now we're going to take the needle with our stitches on here and we're going to put it in our left hand, take the working yarn, kind of scoot it out of the way, and grab our other needle. Okay, I'm going to zoom a little bit out so you can see. There we go. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to insert the needle. And if you've knitted before, this might seem kind of like a review, but we're going to insert the needle up under our left needle. We're going to take the yarn, I like to hook mine around my pinky, and we're going to knit the stitch. Wrap it around the bottom needle. Now bring that needle from the back to the front, picking up that loop. So I picked that loop up and push it off. Okay, so just knit the rest of the stitches. So knit that stitch, knit the second stitch, knit the third stitch. And now normally when you knit, we would pass the needle from our right to our left and keep going to make a row. If we do that, that will make a flat ribbon-like shape, okay? But what we're going to do now, this is the magic of the I-cord, okay? Instead of doing that, we're going to take our work and we're going to slide it to the other end. This is why using a DPN or double pointed needle is helpful, okay? And so we still have our working yarn, and then what we're going to do is knit these 3 stitches, okay? So knit the first stitch, knit the second stitch, and I like to give that first one a little tug just to get it nice and tight. Knit the second stitch, knit the third stitch, and then we're going to take that yarn or that work, that little tiny project we have right now, push it to the end. And you're just going to keep doing that. We'll do this for a little bit together. And you're just going to keep doing that until you have this really cool cord form, a knitted cord, okay? So knit your 3 stitches. And now I gave it a little tug because it's kind of like pops off the needle all of a sudden. And look, you can start to see our cord is emerging. Now you're just going to keep pushing it to the other end and knitting your 3 stitches and pushing it to the other end and knitting your 3 stitches. And that is pretty much all you have to do. Now, we're going to do this a little bit longer. Remember, just push it to the other end. We're going to do this a little bit longer until we get, I want to get a little length on our I-cord so you can see what it looks like. And we're going to come back and then I'm going to show you how to bind off. So once you get your I-cord as long as you want it to be, then you'll have to figure out how to get it off your needles, okay? So just keep knitting and pushing it to the other end. Knit your 3 stitches, push it to the other end of your needle. And when we come back, we'll learn how to get it off the needle next. Okay, so we have a really nice I-cord. And now what we're going to do is we want to get it off the needle. Now, obviously, if you need to make this for a handle or something else like that, you'll want to make yours longer, obviously, but we're just doing a sample, but it makes a nice knitted cord, okay? So what you want to do is grab your other needle and we're just going to knit the first stitch. So knit the first stitch, just like that. And then you're going to knit the second stitch, okay? Now, take your left needle and we're going to, that first stitch that we knit, we're going to take that, grab it, lift it up, over, and off. If you've ever knit before, this is the basic bind off, just so you know. But if you're unfamiliar, I'm going to show you. Knit the next stitch and the last stitch. And then you're just going to do the same thing. Take your needle, lift it up, over, and off. And now you just have one active stitch on the needle, okay? So then, grab your scissors and you're going to cut the yarn. Give yourself a couple of inches here. And you're just going to sort of gently lift this needle out, leaving yourself a little loop. And you can use a needle for this. You could use a yarn needle, but you can easily do this with your hands if you make the loop big enough. Just don't pull the loop through. And then you're just going to tighten it down, sort of snug it down. And you have a really cool I-cord. Now, you can weave this in. You can leave the tails intact if you want to like tie it onto something or tie it in a loop. You can make a little bracelet. You could, make some kind of like a button hole. You know, if you wanted to sew it down and make some kind of like a toggle, something like that. Or what you can do if you need to weave the ends in, like if you need the cord and no ends showing, what you can do is thread your tapestry needle and you're just going to take your needle and you're going to send it up through the middle of the cord, okay? It should be pretty hidden if you go right through the middle and then just come out anywhere you want and give it a little tug. Grab your scissors and you're just going to give it a snip, okay? And if you tug it back into place and straighten it out, your tail will disappear. I went ahead and wove in both ends so you can see we have a nice looking cord here. So that is how you knit an I-cord. Thanks so much for watching and be sure and like and subscribe this video to get all the latest Sparkle and Splatter video updates. Thanks again, everyone.